Good evening, guys. This is Chip from Chip and Guardians Adventures. We are going to do a story tonight for 3 very special children. We have got a magic pen. Now, this pen is not an ordinary pen. It's a special pen. See, it was given to the youngest, Sprinkles. That's what we're going to call her. So, introducing the 5-year-old Sprinkles. One day she was sitting playing on her own. Her 2 older siblings, her brother and sister, was out at school. Her mums were busy, didn't know what to do. So she sat there wishing, with everything she had, that she could have a friend. And then out pops this special pen, out of nowhere, just right next to her. So she picks it up and looks at it. And she went, So she runs over and says, Mummy, did you buy me this? They went, no. Did my sister and brother buy me this? No. Where did you get it from? It just turned up. So because she's 5, they turn around and said, yeah, go play. So she looks at this pen and she's like, it feels different. So she tried to put it down, but it wouldn't come off her hands. She's like, oh, it's stuck. So she runs back to tell her mum, the pen's stuck, look, it won't come off. So her mum grabs the pen and it comes off dead easy. And she goes, what are you talking about? Here. So she grabs the pen again, runs to her room, goes to put it down to pick up another pen, and she tries again. And she goes, it's not getting off me. So she looks at it and she says, get off, and it drops. So she looked, and then she looked at the pen on the floor. It dropped. So she picks it back up again, and then it stuck again. And she's like, get off. And then she goes, let go, and it drops. So Sprinkles, being very smart for a 5-year-old, figured out that all she had to do is pick up the pen and say, let go, and it would drop out of her hand. So by the time she figured that out, her brother and sister came along, who were teenagers. And Sprinkles didn't know whether to tell them this secret or keep the secret about this pen. So she went to her sister in her sister's room. Her name is Books. It's not a real name, but it's her nickname because she likes to read. So Sprinkles decided to call her Books. B-O-O-K-S, Books. Because she was forever in a book, studying a book, reading a book, writing about a book. And she said, I've got this special pen. So her sister is reading a book and goes, oh, that's nice. She goes, no, it won't leave unless I tell it to leave. So her sister looks at the corner of her eye. Okay, Sprinkles. She goes, look, just look. Please look. So after she convinces her sister to take her nose out the books and turn to look, she goes, see, it's magic. It doesn't leave my hand. Look. I can do all that with it and it won't go. But when I say leave, let go, it goes. So her sister looks at her and goes, all right, give me the pen. So what Sprinkles didn't know is when she gives the pen willingly, the other person sees the magic in the pen. But if someone just takes it off her, the pen doesn't do nothing. It stays quiet. It stays asleep because it's a secret. So Books picks up the pen. And then Books goes, okay. And she can't get rid of it. She tries everything. She's like, oh my God, it's not dropping. Look, no matter what I do, it doesn't drop. And Brooke said, it don't drop, you're right. And she goes, what do I do? So Sprinkles say, let go, drop, and it will. So she goes, let go, drop. The pen drops. So she said to Sprinkles, what does it do? So Sprinkles, what do you mean, what does it do? It's a pen. Well, have you drawn on it? She goes, how can I draw on it? It's a pen. You're supposed to draw with it. So her sister looks like, oh, I'm the one going to school, but you're the one telling me about grammar. She goes, what's grammar? Never mind. Let's go see your brother. His name is Gamer because he likes to play games. All sorts of games. Games on computers, games on their phone, games everywhere. So they've nicknamed him Gamer. So we have Sprinkles, the 5-year-old. We have our teenager, Books, who loves to read books and loves to study books and loves stories and adventures with books. And then we have Gamer, who likes adventures with games and playing games and Minecraft and all the beautiful things like that. So they knock on his door. Gamer, what? Got something to show you. I'm busy. Yeah, but this is really, really important. See, the children hadn't figured out yet how they pass the pen on, how to make it special. The only way the pen will wake for each person is if the person before passes the pen on. All right, come in then, just quickly, but I'm busy. What do you see when you look at this? So Gamer looked at both his sisters and thought, oh yeah, it's a pen. Now can I get back to my game? No, no, no. Look closely. Here. So because Books passed it on, they passed on also the magic to that pen. Here you go. So Gamer picks it up. It's a pen. Goes to pass it, and he's going, ha ha ha, funny. Ha ha ha. So Sprinkles starts giggling. And Books goes, what? What's funny? He goes, you glued it, didn't you? And I can't get it off. She goes, did I? Okay, say these words then. Let go, drop off. So he says, okay, let go, drop off. The pen drops. So now Gamer's very interested. All right, so he picks the pen back up. He looks at it. He smells it. There's no glue on it. It's not coming off again. So Books says, exactly. It's really weird. Because when Sprinkles come in, it wouldn't get off her until she said them words. Then I picked it up and it did the same to me. And now you've got it. It did the same to you. Well, where did it come from? We don't know. Sprinkles said it just turned up. She was wishing she had a friend and it just turned up. Well, what does it do? So Sprinkles jumped up and looked at her two elder brother and sister like, it's a pen. What do you think it does? It colours. Duh. Type 5-year-old thinking, you see. So she's listening to the two elder people and she's thinking to herself, it's a pen. What do you think a pen does? And they go to school and I don't. Well, what should we do? So Sprinkles turns around and says, we could get a pen and a paper and draw with it. So then Buck looks and goes, that's true. Let's see what it can do. All right, get a piece of paper and we'll draw on it. But Gamer wasn't too sure. He thought his sisters were playing a prank. See, his both mums were very, very smart. So he knew full well that there could be a prank played here. So he was biting but not biting. Bucks was very excited because she loved adventures. It was her thing. Reading books, going in her own adventures, her own mind. And as for little Sprinkles, well, she just was liking the idea of having her siblings around her, paying her attention for the first time. They're busy. She's a 5-year-old. They don't have much in common, right? So they turn around and goes, okay. They get a piece of paper. Sprinkles runs to her bedroom, picks up her unicorn, runs back. And they went, you forgot the paper. She goes, oh, yeah. Runs back into the bedroom, picks the paper up, runs back in. And he goes, but you've drawn on that one, we need a blank one. She goes, why don't you go get a blank piece of paper then? Sprinkles, just go get the paper. So she runs back into her bedroom as fast as she can, drops the unicorn on the floor, runs back in with the blank paper and goes, here, and passes it to her brother Gamer. So Gamer goes, no, I'm not doing it. Well, you've got the pen. Yeah, you have it then. So she grabs the pen. Brooks opens the pen up, and all of them lean over towards the white piece of paper. Brooks goes to put the pen to the paper very slowly and then stops. So Sprinkles and Gamer's looking, waiting for her to draw something. And they look up at her and say, what are you doing? I mean, hello, draw. She goes, what? What do you mean, what? Well, what do you want me to draw? Anything. Just draw to see why this pen's doing what it's doing. Oh, okay. And then she looks again and goes. And then as she was about to draw, she looked and she thought for a minute. So Gamer and Sprinkles looked at her back up at her. What are you thinking? See, Bucks went back to all her books and all her stories and all her adventures that she's read from when she was tiny and small. What if I write something and it comes true? And above what, like a red letter? So she went, yeah. Now the children, the teenagers, know what a red letter is, right? It's normally called red letter, red text, where someone sends it and says, if you don't pass it on, you'll get into trouble or something bad will happen to you. So they pass it on and pass it on and pass it on the understanding that they don't believe it really, but it's there because they're scared, okay? So, of course, Sprinkles, being Sprinkles, turns around and says, dirt is red, look. Don't write letters, draw a picture then. So they both looked at Sprinkles and went, well, that makes sense. Okie dokie. So she goes back down to draw and then she looks up again. So Gamer goes, what the bloody hell is wrong with you now? Well, if you want to draw, why don't you draw here? So Gamer goes, I'm not doing that. Oh, just let me have the responsibility as usual. Well, I ain't drawing it. It's all a setup. I know it is. It isn't. What aren't you believing? You've seen it. So Spring goes, give me that pen. So she grabs it and says, I will draw. Well, what are you going to draw? I'm going to draw a phone. A phone? Yeah. The mobile phone that Mummy's got. Okay. So she sits there and she draws the mobile phone. But something happens. The colour of the pen is rich and beautiful looking. And it sort of draws your eyes to the colour. And she sits there and Sprinkle goes, see? So they look. And it was an actual phone. Had all the details and everything. But Sprinkles only drawed a few lines. But in Sprinkles' mind, being 5, that looked like a phone. To the adult children, it looked like a bunch of lines. But they weren't going to tell her that and break her heart. Then all of a sudden, it moved around the page. So Sprinkles jumped back and jumped into her sister's and went, huh. So Brooks and I said, don't worry, don't worry. So Brooke goes, okay, what's going on here? So Brooks goes, Gamer, what are you talking about? Well, what's it doing on the paper? Is that a special paper or something? No, it's a normal white piece of paper. It's a printing paper. What's happening? Are you seeing this? She's like, yeah. So Sprinkle goes, duh, look, it's doing it. So it moves around the page. It starts to fix itself and boom. It's an iPhone. Next minute, it starts to lift off the page and starts to turn. And as it turns, it becomes into a 3D. And then it starts to slowly die of shadows and become more solid. And right in front of their eyes, in a few seconds, there it was. It floated back down and laid on the piece of paper where it was drawn. It was a brand new iPhone. So Sprinkles was sitting on Bucks. And Bucks turned to Gamer and said, well, go on then. What do you want me to do? Go, like, touch it. No, you touch it. I got Sprinkles on me. I can't touch it. You touch it. I ain't touching it. Not the fact that they just saw a miracle happen in front of their eyes. They were arguing over who should touch it. So Sprinkle gets up again and looks at the pair of them like, oh, a 5-year-old's work is never done. So Sprinkle goes over and goes and they go, no, wait. Before you do, so Sprinkle stops and goes, what do you mean, wait, I'm going to check it. Yeah, just wait. Let's go get mums and see what they think about this. So Gamer went, good idea. I'll go get them. So he runs into the living room and says, Mums, I've got something to tell you. You're not going to believe it at first, but just try, okay? See, because they had a special gift. The parents. They believed their children and they understood their children. So when the children come to something, they never just dismissed it like most parents did. They would always listen and go and investigate and help them understand it together. That's what great parents do. So all together, Gamer, the both mums went into the bedroom. Looked down. Where did you get that mobile phone from? So Bucks turns around and says, Sprinkles drawed it with this pen. Here we go again about the pen. So the mum grabs the pen. Where did you get this pen from, Sprinkles? It just turned up on the floor. So you're saying this pen and Sprinkles drawing a phone turned into that mobile phone? I went, yeah. Okay. So one of the mums goes, well, why don't we try it? But remember, they took the pen. It wasn't given to them. Remember that. So they open the pen. She says, well, if we're going to draw something, let's draw a Lamborghini. We could do with a Lamborghini, a nice big car. And the other mum said, no, I'll tell you what, how about a nice purse or maybe some clothes or a nice big house? And the kids are looking up thinking, we drawed a mobile phone and they're drawing Lamborghinis and big houses. And they looked and went, we could draw a swimming pool. Then the two adults started. Then the two teenagers started. And Sprinkles is sitting there saying, oh, I could draw a cake, loads of chocolates, a unicorn that can ride, a doggy horse. It was getting crazy. So she went, all right. Let's just draw something simple like a bowl of cereal. So they go in. The mother draws a bowl of cereal. Does the bowl, does the little cereals, does the spoon, and does the milk. And then stands there and goes, right, okay. So the kids all look at each other and Sprinkles looks at everyone like, hey, what's going on here? She goes, Sprinkle, go touch it. So Mum goes, what? And goes, well, that's what Sprinkles did with the phone. She went and touched it. Now, remember, no one's actually touched the phone yet. They're all on the pen. Not one person has checked if that phone works or not. Is it real or not? Nothing yet. Because they were so interested in this pen. So they went forward and they touched. And then Sprinkles pulled back and said, but I don't like that cereal that Mummy drawed. It doesn't matter. You're not going to eat it. Just do it to make it come to life. Because they assumed that it was Sprinkles with the magic gift. That when she touched the... But what she didn't have was the pen. Because their mum had the pen. So Sprinkles walks up, goes slowly, touches the cereal, and then steps back to wait to see all this thing happening. Nothing. So the mums turn over and goes, well, so the kids go, what? You haven't got the gift, it's obvious. Let me have the pen. So the mum goes, fine, here. So she's just giving the pen. So Gamer takes the pen and sits down and goes, right, I tell you what, I'll draw something out of Minecraft. One of the players out of Minecraft. He goes, well, go on then. So he opens the pen and he draws, and he's a very good drawer. And he draws. They all are. They're all skilled. So they draw. And he draws one of the Minecraft characters. And then says to the 5-year-old, Sprinkles, touch it now. So Sprinkles says, no, because it won't work. And he went, I think it will. Touch it. So Sprinkles goes slowly towards it. Touches the picture. And here it comes. First it was shaking. But this time, this was stronger. This was more than just getting up. The room started shaking. Both mothers looked at each other, then looked up like, oh my God, we're having an earthquake. Quick, everyone run. And they're like, no, it's this. But this time, the two elders don't remember this happening. The shaking, the power in the painting. It's slowly coming forward. The drawing's getting up. And all of a sudden, it pops out. But the paper is now blank. She gets up in the air, twists and turns. And boom. There's the character. Alive. So one of the mothers turned to the other mother, and the other mother went, doof, hit the floor. So Sprinkle says, what's wrong with Mummy? She's passed out. Don't worry about it. She'll wake up enough. There's a good time she had to sleep. She's got insomnia. She's driving me nuts. Let her sleep. So Bucks was getting really concerned and saying, shouldn't we wake her? No. Let's find out more. So Gamer goes, shh. Can you talk? So this figure says, yeah, can you? Well, yeah, I'm human. So Sprinkle goes, what's your name? He goes, I don't know. You didn't give me one. Oh, that's true. Anyway, what can you do? So the little figure man looked at him and said, what do you mean what I can do? I can build. It's what I'm designed to do, isn't it? I don't know. Well, where did you draw me from? And he goes, the pen. No, no, no. What gave you the idea to draw me? I play Minecraft. Show me. So the boy runs to his computer, puts it on, and then puts up his character, and it's identical. He's drawn it perfectly. And he goes, oh, well, you drawn me exactly the same. So you've got to name me and keep me now. What do you mean? Well, here's the thing about your pen. It's special. And the only way it can become alive is for children, not adults, because they would use this pen to cause destruction. And even the kindest of people will get greedy. Whereas children, their imaginations, their young adults would not be interested in being rich, Lamborghinis, cars, and then drawing themselves out, because once the pen ink runs out, everything disappears. And you're left with nothing. So if you draw a house and then move into that house, your house no longer exists because you swap your real house for the drawing house. So when the ink runs out, everything disappears. The pen doesn't exist no more, neither does everything you've drawn. So all three children and both mums, at this time the mum woke up and went, what went on? So they all looked at this drawing that's come to life. So what you're saying is, so the drawing looks up at the mum and says, oh, you're awake. See, this is the point with you adults. You've lost your ability to dream. You've lost your ability of fantasy. You see, you need that in your life to escape. And yet, you spend ages convincing children of having fantasies, Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, till they get to 9, 10, and then you get sick of it and say, right, stop it now, it doesn't exist, let's get on with it, you've got to grow up and grow out of it. But adventure does exist. We exist in books. We exist everywhere. In every child, in every young adult, and every adult that has not forgotten us. The fairy at the bottom of the garden, the best friend. We've been called many, many names. But that's why we don't appear to you adults. Because all you're going to do is make money off us. Use us until you burn us out. And then move on. Whereas children tend to want to keep the magic longer. And therefore use us to keep us around. Because they like us. They're not interested in becoming famous or anything like that at their ages. So we show ourselves to the children. So the parents look at each other and goes, are you safe? Yes. We can only do what they draw us to do. So she looks at the two elders and goes, I'm keeping you in charge of Sprinkles. Make sure. So we're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Gamer. Books. Make sure my daughter's safe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll leave you to it then. So she looks at the little man and goes, but by the way, if any of my kids come to harm, or any of our kids come to harm, you're in for it, get it? Yeah, no problem, mother. No problem. Safe, safe. I'll keep him safe. Don't worry. So off goes the mums. The other mother went, I'm not feeling too safe leaving the kids with this thing. Should we phone the police? Goes, listen, didn't you hear what the guy just said? The thing just said. Children use these magic pens because they have imagination. They have a love for mystery. And us as adults, we use them, abuse them, and then it all disappears. But they lose everything because that's what we do. We've got to learn to trust our children, our elder ones, to look after our younger ones, to protect them. I think they'll be all right. As long as you're sure, yeah, I think we'll be fine. So they shut the door behind them. So now the three children look and say, do you get hungry? So he goes, not sure what hunger is. So Brooks goes, so if I was to draw a dog, would I need to draw food for a dog? Yes. Because you can't go out and buy the food. You have to draw. So if you can't draw the food, eventually the pup will get skinny, die and disappear and become ash. Oh, okay. So we can only get what we can draw. Unless you're a 5-year-old. Sprinkles has a special gift. Although she can't draw what's in her imagination can draw on the paper. A bit like when artists sees the painting on the blank canvas before they've drawn it. And then they draw what they see in their mind. They draw it from the mind on the paper first, and then they draw it on the paper. Well, that's what 5-year-olds do. They have that kind of eye. So she wanted a phone and she got her phone. Oh yeah, does this phone work? Only in this land. You step outside this land, that phone disappears. So why Sprinkles? Because she asked for us. She was lonely and said she needed a friend. Okay. So then Gamer went, we could make loads of Minecraft stuff to come alive and watch them and do stuff. He says, you could do that, yeah. Or I could be your guide and we could go on adventures together. And that's the start of Sprinkles books and Gamer's adventures. If you like to hear more about the adventures of these people, the children, the pen, the books will carry on until the pen runs out. When will that be? Tomorrow? The next day? Who knows? But in the meantime, these children will go on all adventures with just a pen. And remember, folks, let your children's imaginations run wild, because that's all they've got in the end. Because reality is painful, hurtful and hard. So why don't we all have a bit of magic in our lives? See you in a while. Crocodile.